Hello everyone and welcome back to the GeekWave. This is the low budget show. It's the show solo. It has no budget. You know the old story. No budget, no money. We are cheap ass production over here. Barely scraping by. Nah, we're doing fine. Everything's fine. January does not suck for revenue or anything in terms of online productivity. That's why nothing comes out, and that's also why Avatar can go 6 weeks undefeated without anybody trying to attempt to break its record. But no, that's not really a news piece I want to talk about, but let's just say, Avatar hit 2 billion, guys. Top 5 movies of all time. Most of them are James Cameron flicks now. Isn't that awesome? Love him. Love that guy. He's insane, and I love the stories I've been hearing about Cameron's, he made this movie about, his relationship to his own family, and they're like, dude, you've been crazy, please slow down, make your movies, but spend time with us, and I'm like, damn, that is pretty much Avatar The Way of Water, isn't it? It's awesome. Great time to like stuff, man. It's awesome, and, since it's the January season, I'm like, well, I don't want to do any, big videos. I got a huge thing planned coming up in the later half of the year. Before that, we just have simple episodes to get out. Like this episode, all about breakfast cereals and the mascots of those cereals, because iconography is the key to the gem to the goal post that unlocks the door that leads us to knowing things, remembering stuff. You eat the fruit of remembrance and suddenly everything makes sense. You cannot eat cereal without understanding that there's a little bird on there that you're familiar with. Cocoa for Cocoa Puffs, baby. But we do have some news to talk about. A lot of very interesting news. A lot of stuff that I'm genuinely like. This is my kind of news bracket. Things I like, things I don't. It's awesome. And for a rare appearance of a comic book piece of news. Now, if it's successful and you guys like it, maybe I'll talk more about comic book news on this channel in the GeekWave stuff, but we'll see. That feels like its own separate video. There's guys that do it better than me, but whatever. So first piece of news, just weeks after her debut to the world, where she slayed like a queen, where she just crushed shit, Megan will be getting a sequel. That's right, folks, 2025, mark it on your goddamn calendar. Megan is getting a sequel. We did it, queens. We slayed our way through this. The year of Megan is still upon us, folks. We are still in the year of Megan. It's her year to shine. All bow down to our queen bee that is Megan. We do it for you, baby. We do it for you always. A sequel to Megan? That's all I want in life. I need nothing else in my life except a sequel to Megan. That's all I want. Just a sequel to Megan because she's awesome. She's cool. She's sweet. She's cool. She's sweet. She's cool. She's sweet. Let's say it 3 more times and then maybe she'll come to our house and give us tickets to the premiere of Megan 2. We're going to call it Megan 2.0, Megan Reloaded. Megan Reloaded would be a great name. M. Forgan, that sucks, but maybe M. Thregan 2. Ugh, I'm just blown away. That movie was so fun. Absolute great time at the movies. I'll take anything of her in it. She's the best. She is so sweet. She is so cool. All I want in life is you, Megan. You've done it. You've inspired me in ways I didn't know were possible. We'll die on the hill of Megan. We'll live on the hill of Megan, glow a glorious crop full of little Megans for her to just run around and destroy the world. It's Megan's year, everybody. It's the year of the Megan. Will she be dethroned? Maybe. What are things that could dethrone Megan? Perhaps Barbie could dethrone Megan, but maybe not. Barbie's great, but maybe won't dethrone Megan. I don't see that happening, That Polite Society looks really good, though. That's not going to dethrone Megan, though. It's just going to be awesome. Finally, some good fucking food, am I right? Sick. So Megan looks great. What doesn't look great is this news. So you guys all know, I've talked about it countless times on this channel and all my other social media platforms, that I am a massive supporter of the Tron franchise. Daddy loves his Tron. If he could get sucked into the grid, he'd live there with the users. It's going to be great. It's all he wants in the world is to be in the Tron world. And he's been clamoring for a long time to make another Tron movie. And it was just announced the other day that after a long hiatus, Disney was like, Tron Ares, yeah, we're going to be working on that thing we've been talking about for a while. Look, Legacy was not a success. but it's one of the best looking movies of all time with a great cinematographer, great soundtrack, great lead actors who understand the world they're in. The fact that Tron Legacy holds up, and this might be a discussion for another video. Oh wait, I did a 30-minute video talking about both Tron movies last year. Please watch that. The thing about Tron is, like, it shouldn't look as good as it does considering it's a sequel to the really shitty 80s movie. But it's so good. And Tron Legacy, I would say in my top 10 films of all time. I love Tron Legacy. I adore Tron Legacy. So we're getting a sequel to that, or a reboot, or something new in the Tron franchise, right? Okay. What do you got for me? First off, Daft Punk is retired. They're not going to probably be making music. So I'm like, that sucks, because they had the best soundtrack of all time, arguably, in that movie. So what are we even doing if they're not going to be making the music? And then you have a director who I hate. I'm not going to name their name. Just know they made the worst Pirates of the Caribbean movie, the worst Maleficent movie. Just a really shitty director who is like Disney's punching bag to make cheap shit they need released to keep actors that they like Angelina and Johnny Depp. So a really shitty director. All that aside, okay, no Daft Punk, I'll manage. A director I don't like, well, he's a punching bag, and at least it's going to be in the Disney style. It's 2023, which means the technology that we could potentially be using for all of this shit is probably going to be ugly, and it's going to look more like, Free Guy. I would fucking kill myself if this became Free Guy. I hate it. But, on top of all of that news, I utterly despise for this movie. On top of all of that news, I utterly despise and have no intention of enjoying. The actor that is attached to this project is Jared Leto. What? How? How in the ever-loving fuck would Disney allow an announcement like this to go public with Jared Leto's name attached to it? He has made a really shitty Morbius movie. That should put him in Hollywood jail. Now again, this exact project was talked about years ago with this exact same cast, kind of like when Blade Runner was coming out and they're like, oh, Jared Leto's a sci-fi franchise guy. Let's stick him in this. So I don't think for a second that any of this is actually going to go through and be this team put together. But why? Why would you announce this with Jared Leto? That is such a stupid move. Aside from Morbius getting Razzie nominations and his weird island of cultish stuff, his, the way he talks about younger women and the sexual allegations against him, he is just wrong for that world. What a really shitty fucking choice. This reeks so much of Disney missing the point of Tron and being like, oh yeah, it just looks like a neon city. No, it's slick. Nothing about Jared Leto is the right type of slick for this universe. He is greasy, not slick. Okay? I hate this. If you ever wanted to kill my excitement for Tron, and look, I might be one of the few people alive that has an appreciation for Tron that goes above just something like that. It's what I want a computer movie to look like. When you go inside a computer, I don't want GTA or the weird Matrix, whatever. It's like real life, but everything's coded. Give me weird fucking lines and you're going down server boards and shit. That's what I love. It should look like a really stupid Circuit City bullshit. I love that. I hate everything about this. I'll talk about it. We'll do more Tron stuff on this channel, absolutely. But man, if you wanted to kill my excitement for something, you say Jared Leto is working with the director of Dead Man Tell No Tales, and they're making a movie about Daft Punk. I'm like, you sons of a bitch. Who wants this? Who wants this? Honest to God, who wants this? I hate all of it. I hate it. I hate it so much. Okay, let's move away from that. Some stuff that's kind of interesting. Rami Malek is signed on to do a Buster Keaton biopic. Cool. I mean, I guess he looks the part. The problem I have with that is are we actually gonna let Rami stand in the way of danger, or is it gonna look too fake? I feel look, maybe because I'm currently reading a book about the history of Hollywood and a lot of the silent pictures and the comedy stars of that era. I feel like we can't authentically tell the stories of Buster Keaton or Laurel and Hardy or Harold Lloyd or Charlie Chaplin for that matter with actors who are afraid, Does that make sense? Like, some of those guys are like, I'm going to sit on a chair, you're going to push me in front of a train, and I'm just going to, like, ride the rails for a minute. Or I'm going to, like, hang off a building. We'll use forced perspective, but it's going to look like I could hurt myself. The building's going to properly fall. I'm going to stand in the one spot the window's open. Like, I don't know if we can authentically tell that story. And I don't want this, I don't know. I want to be excited for, like a Buster Keaton biopic. So I'm like, he's interesting. He's cool. But we just had Blonde, and I did not like Blonde. And, Luca's doing his Audrey one. There's a Gene Kelly and Fred Astaire one, like, with 2 MCU stars, maybe. And I'm just like, I haven't liked any of them in a long time. I didn't see the Whitney Houston one. Elvis was so boring. And I'm just like, can we stop doing this specific thing? Now, maybe the Buster Keaton movie feels like Babylon, which is a movie I haven't stopped thinking about every time I've seen it. Maybe that's what we're going to do. But Rami does not fit in that world either. I don't know. Very strange. Moving away from that, though, we do have to talk about something that's, I think, genuinely exciting. I don't talk a lot about, like, comic book relaunches and reboots in, like, the GeekWave stuff. I might try to do a little bit more if it's, like, a big deal and I think something that really matters. So coming in April, is it April that's the end of Jason Aaron's run on Avengers? Either way, Aaron is off the book with his big Avengers Assemble run. That's ending. And then we have confirmation on the new creative lineup for the next Avengers series, which is going to be kicking off in a couple of months. And it matters to me personally because, one, the writer, Jed MacKay, who is writing the best Moon Knight comic, I think, ever. You could put the argument in that this is the best run of Moon Knight ever created. The guy is a great writer who knows how to tell these kind of stories. Very excited to see what he's going to do with the Avengers. And C.F. Villa is the artist on the book. And we have a great lineup. Now, what I'm about to say, this is not the first time it's been said in public. I just want to point out, like, the run we're seeing on this book. Captain Marvel led, so Carol Danvers will be leading the book. A Thor, which just looks like to be Odinson. Tony Stark, T'Challa, Sam Wilson, Captain America, and then the Scarlet Witch and Vision. Now, folks, go with me on this for a second. Again, I'm not the first person to say this. It's all over Twitter. That's 7 characters. What other superhero team is known for having 7 characters? Oh yes, the Justice League. Now the difference between the Avengers and the Justice League, of course, is like the Avengers run changes every 2 days. Like a new person just shows up and whatever. But when you think of Justice League, you instantly think of, oh yeah, this, that, and that guy. Like the core trinity and the other supportings. With the Avengers, you'd be like, okay, what era? It's like, okay, is it Black Knight? Is it Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver? Is it Hawkeye? Do we go to the more modern stuff? Is it Spider-Man team? Like all this kind of stuff is what that is. But if you were to give me like 7 Avengers, who are like the Justice League of the Avengers, I would have probably said this exact lineup. So that's what it feels like, and that's really cool. This team looks awesome. Would I have thrown a Janet Van Dyne over there instead of maybe Scarlet Witch, or I don't know, maybe even Sam Wilson? Maybe. But I don't know. This is a good lineup. This is a really good lineup. I do like it. Something I've always said is that an Avengers lineup is not an Avengers lineup unless there's a Vision on the team or a Iron Man adjacent character. So this looks good. I really like this team. Looks like it's going to be a fun book. Weekly or monthly, I should say, reviews coming to this channel, probably. I'm a Jed fan. I'll be talking all Jed all day. So that pretty much is all the news. But then I was scrolling on Twitter today, and I saw this one piece of news come up where I'm like, oh, is this real? Now, it's been kind of corroborated by a few sources, and I was like, okay, I kind of got to talk about this because it matters so much to me, and it's something that is very interesting that is kind of worth talking about. So there is a report going around that Prime Video has signed an overall deal with Matt Fraction and Kelly Sue DeConnick. Now, if you don't know, those two are in a really cool relationship. One of my favorite relationships in comic books, honestly. I love those two. Both of them have made some very incredible shit. But on top of that, it appears that television adaptations of Matt Fraction's Sex Criminals and Kelly Sue DeConnick's Bitch Planet are reportedly in the works. And I'm like, that is so freaking cool. Now, I like the idea of both of these products being adapted. I've been saying for a long time you should do Sex Criminals. A sex positive show that is a little tongue in cheek is very popular. Like Masters of Sex kind of had that vibe. We need something to fill that void. Get a little more like ethereal with it. That works. And Bitch Planet is just prime for like a post Handmaid's Tale era or Handmaid's Tale era. Both of those are such good ideas. So cool. I love both of those comic books so much. What I really like about this is that it kind of like fits into like the Amazon video identity. Kind of like, kind of making fun or spoofing superhero stuff, like these more like, like parody satirical takes on the world, like The Boys and Invincible kind of have that feel. Sex Criminals and Bitch Planet both have that effect. Some of them are a little more abrasive in their tone, but it's really fun and great story. So if this rumor is true, which I think it is because you don't really see either of these names writing that much anymore. What was the last thing Fraction did? So the last thing I saw both of their names on, Fraction was doing Adventure Man of the Dodsons, which is one of my favorite comic books of the past couple of years. And Kelly was doing that Wonder Woman Historia of the Amazons, which is such a great book. So hell yeah. I love both of these so much. Such a good idea. It's so fun, so fun. I love it. Now, maybe we'll come back and talk about like who we would cast in both of those properties, but that's really fun. It also leads me to believe, okay, if Amazon is doing that, what else are they getting behind the scenes? Because they have that overall deal with Snyder, and Snyder's got a bunch of friends. And I'm just saying, Fraction worked with Zdarsky, and Zdarsky has a new public domain book called Public Domain. Might be a good time to do all of that. Could be very interesting, but that's all the news, folks. A lot of cool stuff, a lot of interesting things worth talking about. But when we come back from the break, we'll just sit down for some breakfast, pour a glass of milk, and then drop some fruit syrup in it. I don't know what that was, but you get it. Well, I hope everybody grabbed their bowl of cereal and is now prepared to sit down and just talk about mascots of cereal. What a perfect food for podcasting, just something so crunchy that you have to move a spoon around in a dish, clanking about, crunching shit. Perfect. I say that unironically because I legitimately think there is like some ASMR shit that would be like, yes, we're going to eat a bowl of cereal for you. I did that a while ago, actually. When it was the Crisis on Infinite Earths, I talked about that movie while I was eating cereal. Don't watch that video, it sucks. But I was just like, yeah, you get it. Content forever, man. Cereal's good. I like cereal. Cereal's yummy. Do I need to justify cereal on this podcast? Do I need to do that? Do people eat cereal? Okay, yes, young people eat cereal, right? I don't actively know people that eat cereal. Now that I'm thinking about it, I don't know anyone who's eating cereal regularly. Is that a weird thing to say? Is that strange? I don't know. Like, I'm sure I know people eat cereal, but do they actively eat cereal nowadays? Good question, boy. Who knows the answer? The truth is, cereal exists because, I don't know, the culture is like kids eat things with animals on them. So if this box has animal on it, kid will eat it. Kids are dumb that way. It's funny to me how all these things just like exist. I mean, it makes sense for like, commercial and advertisement wise, where you could like slap a logo of like a certain animal on like a sticker or just like on a lunchbox, and it's like, hey, you're supporting that brand. I get that. It's just amazing how far it's come, I look at this list I made, and I genuinely don't hate anything on this list. I think these are all really cool characters. And looking at the list, there are certainly things on here that I haven't had regularly, maybe because in Canada, they're not like easy to get or like something that's actively there to get. But, cool. So I had a couple stipulations for this. I wanted to do characters that were strictly advertising and strictly connected to the cereal. Now, there is, like, I think one or two on here that could be used for other properties from the brand they're using. You have to talk about them because they are kind of iconic for the cereal side of things too, but I didn't want to put, like, Cocoa Pebbles or Fruity Pebbles on here because, yes, the Flintstones are iconic in terms of like breakfast food and vitamins and stuff, but I don't think it's like strictly like a cereal property, so I didn't really want to put them on the list. No like specialty boxes either, You get like, here's your Superman cereal. Like, no, I don't want to put those on here. I want to do characters that are like strictly connected to everything they are doing cereal-wise. We're not doing anything larger than life, just strictly cereal characters, and then the Rice Krispie guys. Okay, let's start with them. Let's start with the Rice Krispie family, okay? You have to talk about Snap, Crackle, and Pop. No matter if you're doing any iconic mascot, they are three distinctive little freaks running about making Rice Krispies, and they're really fun, and they're good characters. Do they have distinct personalities? I don't know. Maybe like they're dressed funny. One's like a baker, one's like in like a weird like red uniform. Then you got like the elf looking one that's just like blue and blonde, and you're like, this is kind of fun. They're kind of cool. I don't think they're my favorite. Now we'll talk about like a lot of stuff when it comes to all of this, like the mascot itself, what I think their popular staying power is the cereal good? I'm not a Rice Krispie guy. I don't pour myself a bowl of Rice Krispies and be like, yes, this is everything I've ever wanted in cereal. I do like a Rice Krispie square bar, though. That's really good. I like some, crunchy little food like that. That makes me happy. So that's where I more associate those guys. But the cereal is fine. The characters, I think they're, like, important. They might be one of the bigger on this list because, like, they represent more than just cereal. But they're kind of like the only ones on this list that I think are strictly more than cereal. Sometimes you see characters that are now branching out into other things. We'll get to that when we get to a certain captain. But I just think like, yeah, Snack, Crackle, and Pop, they're fine. I don't know, not my cup of tea, not my guys. What is my guy? Maybe because I don't know, I love the cereal and I just like what this brand has kind of like branched out to do recently. Is the thumbnail of this video, Toucan Sam. Now, years ago, I did a video on this channel called Fights of Fiction, where I took fictional characters and had them fight other fictional characters. I did a video where Toucan Sam fought Scrooge McDuck. Just want to bring that up for no other reason. I would love to come back and do those videos, but they just didn't do well. I just didn't have the time. Toucan Sam's awesome, just like an iconic looking bird. It kind of rolls off the tongue, Toucan Sam. And like every time he's like in a commercial, he was like, I'm going adventuring, and I'm taking my nephews, a Scrooge McDuck, parable and all that kind of stuff. And he's just cool, and he's got an iconic voice, and he looks sick. I love Toucan Sam. Like, that's my cup of tea right there. I would die for Toucan Sam. Weird thing to say, but I just think he's the coolest. Like, just like the colors on his nose all representing like the different colors that you can see in like Fruit Loops. Very fun. The bird, you can recognize the bird instantly. There's no like other like iconic toucan really that looks like him. He's distinctively his own thing, and it's kind of cool. I like it. And Fruit Loops are freaking good, man. I love Fruit Loops. I could eat Fruit Loops all the time. I like what this brand has been doing recently because it's like you can buy one big Fruit Loop and just eat it like a snack. Because I think Fruit Loops are one of like the few cereals that are good if like out like the milk. They're so good. I recently had some gummy Fruit Loops, and oh, were those yummy. I just love this brand. And Toucan Sam, that's my boy. Like, you could, if they ever made, like, merchandise on, like, a high level of Toucan Sam, I would buy it. Is there, like, the, like, Funko stuff, maybe? I think there probably is Funko stuff of Toucan Sam. Yeah, so he's got like the Funko keychains and stuff. I don't do Funko anymore, but if there was like a different type of like, Toucan Sam Fruit Loops merchandise, oh yeah, your boy's buying it. Love this guy. Fruit Loops are delicious. And when we say that, of course, we have to head over to another creature of the animal kingdom. Have I talked about him yet before? I might have. Look, if I were to make a list of like the sexiest cereal mascots, I think the top of the list has to go to Tony the Tiger. Oh, what a hunk. There's something about like anamorphic cats that you can just make sexy for some reason. We're going to be going into a weird conversation just for a minute here, but Tony's like an everyman who can like, he plays sports with people. I guess he's like a DJ. I'm looking at some pictures of him on here. He's like a DJ, and getting a couple of fan art, so skip past that. But, look at this guy. He's cool. He's sick. He's just like a big, sexy tiger. He's wearing a little bandana. He's happy all the time. I'm just saying, he's built like a brick. He probably wouldn't be bad in bed. I know that's weird to say, but Tony's kind of hot. Tony is kind of hot. He is easily the sexiest on this list. And I know that's weird to say, but Tony is hot. Like, he's strong. He's athletic. And his cereal's really good. I like Frosted Flakes. Now, again, the further down the list we go, we're going to get closer to, like, the characters and the ones I'm not too familiar with. But as it stands, like, come on. He's hot. Hot guy. Frosted Flakes are yummy. I love it. Brand recognition there is pretty good, I gotta say. It's really, really yummy. I like it. I still like Fruit Loops the most out of everything we've talked about so far, but I do like that. Tony the Tiger is hot. I don't care what anybody says. He's hot. Very hot guy. And we talked about Snack, Crackle, and Pop already. Let's move to another. Now, I don't have these by any, like, distinctive brand organization. I didn't do, like, Post and then Kellogg's and then General Mills or any of that shit. These were just in a list of things I thought of. So the next one I want to talk about is Captain Crunch. That's his name? Is he just called Captain Crunch? Is he a real captain? Does anybody, like, actually study, like, the bands on his wrists and everything, if that's, like, the ranking of captain? Truth be told, I have very mixed opinions on Captain Crunch for a long time. I remember, like, it's the it's the cereal my mom always bought because she's like, that's your favorite, right? And I'm like, well, it's not my least favorite, so I'll take it. But I think the cereal itself is like a treasure chest shape, and when you eat it, it's like, yeah, that's fine. It's kind of crunchy, kind of gets stuck on your teeth, kind of gets like stuck in your like your gums and shit, top of your mouth. I'm like, it's fine. I don't think the captain has any staying power. If you were to put him in like a lineup against like other mascot captain things, I don't think he's got like any interesting parts to him. He's just kind of like okay-ish. But nah, I don't think he's that interesting. Not really. Nothing. I got nothing to say on Captain Crunch. Somebody I do have stuff to say on, though, is the man who runs away from children all the time because they're after his Lucky Charms, is Lucky the Leprechaun. Now, there are different incarnations. Like, I think, like, originally, like, the Lucky Charms, like mascot was, like, a weird-looking old guy who's very, like, classic 60s inspired, but I'm talking about Mr. Leprechaun who just wears green. He's always, like, after the pot of gold, after a rainbow. Now, I love this topic so much. If I were ever to, like, go on a date again, and, like, I needed to bring up, like, a topic of debate, I'd be like, your 3 favorite cereals and your 3 favorite mascots. Because I fucking hate Lucky Charms. I love Lucky. I think he's cool. I hate Lucky Charms as an actual, like, cereal. I hate the taste of marshmallow. I hate it so much. Like, that crunchy, disgustingly soft marshmallow. I don't like it. I actually despise the taste of that, but I do like Lucky. I think he's a very interesting character, and he makes sense. It's kind of fun. He has like a mission in every commercial or product. He's like running away from kids after his Lucky Charms. Sometimes he'll find like a new like pot of gold or like a new design he can throw into his marshmallows. He's pretty cool. I do think he's cool. Is he hot? I don't know if he's hot. The captain's not hot, and I think Toucan Sam would give you like a fun night. But Tony is hot. Is Lucky hot, or is he like your weird little cousin? Kind of both. I think you could say Lucky is hot, but he's also clearly like obsessive compulsive, so you probably don't want that in your life. He's kind of cool though, Lucky the Leprechaun, fun little guy. Now here's somebody I know I spent a lot of time talking about this guy, so kind of like a little behind the scenes into my personal life. There's a running gag in my family where we go, somebody says, be happy instead of like good night or goodbye, and the other person will say, be healthy. Honey Nut Cheerio is part of this complete breakfast. It's like, that is a running gag in my family that we do all the time. And that leaves us to Buzz B, who, yes, if you're doing a honey cereal, it's gotta be a fucking bumblebee, man, or a bear. But like, come on, Buzz is sick. I like Buzz a lot, actually. Because he's kind of like a little kid. He could do like a Fortnite dance if he wants. He's like able to like go anywhere he needs to. Instantly recognizable. Maybe just in like my household I know all about him. I don't even eat a lot of Honey Nut Cheerios. I just love this guy. He's just cute. I think he's cute. It's like a little dude. He's got like his own like Twitter and Instagram following. He's like a fun little freak. Look at him go. Look at him exist. He's so fun. He's just a bumblebee with a big face. And he's just like, I'm eating these Cheerios, motherfucker. Look at me. And sometimes he has like a weird honey wand. And I'm like, that's cool. He's awesome. Like that's my boy. That's my boy right there. I would play ball with him. I'd hang out with him. He's pretty cool. I do like that. Busby, he's pretty sick. And then we go over to one that interesting. So I think I want to do some other time. I don't know when. Another video I do want to do on the GeekWave is the best cartoon rabbits of all time, or rabbits in pop culture. I did one for lions. I'm definitely going to do one for rabbits. And this guy's going to be on the list. The Trix Rabbit, of course. Does he have an official name? It just says Trix Rabbit on the wiki, so I don't know. I don't eat Trix regularly, truth be told. I know it's available in Canada sometimes, but not my go-to, as you could tell. Not a food I particularly enjoy. But, I do think this is an iconic character. Because everybody knows silly rabbit tricks are for kids, right? Everyone knows that, right? Everybody who's somebody in this industry knows who I'm talking about when I say that. Silly rabbit podcasts are for kids, that kind of fun energy that we're playing with here. But he's just, I've never been the biggest fan of the Trix Rabbit. I think he is iconic and the cereal has its like name recognition that people know. But I'm just like, okay, he's just a silly rabbit who doesn't really do anything. And that's kind of annoying. It'd be cool if he did more, but yeah, you get it. He's on his own little world there. I don't think anybody really cares about him. He's just kind of an asshole to children. He's like, kids, feed me. And they're like, shut up, get your own food, Grandpa. And he's like, I'm going to fucking kill you. He's got like Roger Rabbit energy if he was on crack cocaine. And speaking of crack cocaine, we have the Cocoa Puffs bird, Sunny the cocoa bird, or the cuckoo bird, I should say. So, I don't know if I've ever had Cocoa Puffs. No, I must have. Like, come on, I eat cereal like a son of a bitch. I know my cereal. I must have eaten it before, but I have no recollection of this. I couldn't pick Sunny out in a lineup. All I know is he's like, I'm Coco for Cocoa Puffs, but he says it with like such energy. You're like, get the hell away from me, you freaky little man. He's not sexy. He reminds me of that friend who drinks way too much at a party, and you're like, okay, this guy's gonna be a problem a couple hours from now, where he's either gonna like run away or like try to hit on somebody he shouldn't. Like, Sonny does not have energy of a guy I want to be around when he's drinking, if that makes sense. But Cocoa Puffs are probably good, right? Maybe he's just like, remember like that brand where it's like, kids like characters that are insane, so this guy's a lunatic. He's gonna run around and eat a bunch of just Cocoa Puffs because he's Cocoa for them. And you're like, yeah, chill out, bro. We get it. We get it, man. You like it. You're happy. We understand, bro. Let's calm down a minute. Another one here. We got the Sugar Bear from the Sugar Crisps. This one I don't care about. I don't know any kids that eat Sugar Crisps, so it doesn't matter. Sugar Bear. There you go. I brought him up. We're not bringing him up anymore. It doesn't matter. Does not matter. He exists. Here's one that does matter, and this is a food I know I have never had in my life, but I have to bring him up because another video I do want to do, in the vein of the rabbit and the lion one I did, is the frogs. Because we're talking about Diggum, the frog. I dig him. I have no idea who this is. I've never had Honey Smacks in my freaking life. Is he iconic? I know people are like, he's got a lot of merchandise, surprisingly, so he must be iconic. I'm looking at like, buttons and pins and Funkos for this guy, and I'm like, is he iconic? Oh, there's some fan art. That is fucked up. Okay. He's a frog with a big spoon and a dopey face who eats Honey Smacks. Is Honey Smacks just like the sugar crisps or like the golden crisp thing. It looks, maybe it's like a different regional brand for like the same snack because it sounds very similar. What does a frog have to do with honey? No, I don't hate this guy because I like his little like shirt that says dig 'em, and he's got like a hat and he's wearing shoes. Not a lot of these other ones wear shoes, just like the human ones do. So this guy's kind of cool. He might be like, I think aesthetic wise, in my top 3 so far, next to Tony and Toucan. I like this little dig 'em boy. Now, again, he's somebody I'm not too versed in, but I do enjoy looking at this son of a gun. He's another Kellogg's guy, so that's kind of fun. It's cool. I like this is a fun. I know this is such like a specifically weird topic, but this is my kind of topic where I could sit here for hours. Well, maybe not hours because we all have other lives we can get to, and just look at these characters. So I'm on fan art right now of this guy. Not as like, disgustingly sexual as some other characters. So we're going to keep it that way, I think. Oh, man. Who's the most iconic frog in pop culture? Is it Kermit? Let's look up cartoon frogs in pop culture really quick. Maybe that'll be a video I come to later. I guess Michigan P, Hypnotoad are big ones. Princess and the Frog, I guess. I think Kermit and fucking Pepe. I gotta do this video. And fucking I'm doing this video. Oh my, this is coming up soon. I have to do the frogs in pop culture video. Oh, yeah, we're saving that. Okay, forget Digums for now, guys. Just Googling frogs in pop culture. I'm seeing a bunch of iconic guys I adore and admire. We have to come back to that video. So right now, we are headed down a rabbit hole that is festively themed characters, because if you think the last ones are iconic, wait till you get to the Halloween season where we look at the true icons of Halloween. Full disclosure, I am a sucker for monsters and I'm a sucker for cereal, so if you put the Universal Monster aesthetic on a cereal, your boy's gonna get a little bit of a snack on. Full disclosure, too, there are action figures of these characters that I am desperately trying to find. Cannot find them in Canada for whatever reason, but I do want to find them. So let's run down some of these characters, not really quick, but just enough to be like, these guys freaking rule. First off, Frankenberry. Strawberry-flavored Frankenstein. The dude has the most insane aesthetic ever, just a pink-skinned dude with strawberry fingernails and a big, weird train head looking thing. I'm obsessed with him. What an icon, what a legend. We stan a king. He's cool. He's hot in like a weird dumb guy sense. He's got like that weird like haughty strength to him probably. I don't know. He looks kind of cool. Looks kind of hot. Not going to lie. I'm a man of the people, clearly. Count Chocula. Now, I guess that depends on how much chocolate you like in your cereal. Is anybody here a big fan of chocolatey cereal? I know I'm mixed on it, and that leads into a whole other conversation of like the Nesquik Rabbit. I don't know if he counts because Nesquik's like a squirting thing. But there's something fun about Count Chocula. What if Dracula liked chocolate? That's what this guy is. He looks insane. He's got a big looking face, and it's kind of silly, but I'm a Frankenberry boy. I like my fruity flavors. Chocolate can be a lot sometimes. But he's okay. I don't know. Not the biggest supporter of Count Chocula. It's just like Dracula, but chocolate. I get it. Boo Berry's the interesting one because it's blueberry and it's just a ghost. I'm like, yeah, that tracks a blue ghost that likes blueberries? Okay. I have no issues with that whatsoever. It looks exactly how it should. And that is all I have to say on the matter. What else do you do? Now, here's a fun thing I'm going to share with everybody. I just Googled Yummy Mummy, because that's the next character I want to talk about. And what I got was the ads for a Netflix series called Yummy Mummies with women who are pregnant and hot, I guess is the premise. And then scattered throughout is just Yummy Mummy, the fruity Yummy Mummy. There he's in there somewhere. He's just he's in there, What's the theme? Is this one just fruit flavored? Yeah, fruit flavored frosted cereal with vanilla flavored marshmallows. Just a Yummy Mummy, But I'm kind of deterred because of the women who are pregnant and Yummy? I don't. Okay, cool. It looks great. Fruit Brute. Let's talk about Fruit Brute. A werewolf that likes like fruit. Yeah, fruit flavored brutes. It's good. I do like Fruit Brute a little bit more, maybe because again, I have the nostalgia for a werewolf because I'm that kind of guy. You know, it's cool. Those two, I feel like in like the Universal Monsters adjacent, not even Universal, but just like the General Mills adjacent universe, they just don't have the staying power. I don't know if any of them are like real like smoke shows. I do think Frankenberry is hot. I would give you maybe Fruit Brute's kind of hot, but Boo Berry's dead, and I don't think that's hot. And it's all good. I think that's it, right? There's like nothing else to really say about them. I do want to end on a couple of minor characters that are kind of more like 3D projected characters I want to talk about because it's kind of fucked. I had a ball talking about these characters. This might be one of my favorite episodes I've done in a long time. Just a bunch of freaks. First off, the Cinnamon Toast Crunch Crazy Squares. Cinnamon flavored cereal. The squares are like alive when they like eat each other sometimes, and it's freaking sweet. But I don't want to talk about them in particular. Who I want to talk about, because number one, this is probably one of my favorite like cereals. It's one of my favorite combination of flavors because, like I said, I'm a weird kid and I don't eat normal food flavors. Have I said that? No. I love the flavor of this one. I don't know why. I like this. One of my favorite flavors is Kellogg's Apple Jacks, which is just apple flavored and cinnamon flavored like Fruit Loop kind of adjacent like cereals. And they have two mascots called Apple and Cinnamon, and Cinnamon is like cinnamon because he's Jamaican cinnamon. You get it? Do you get it? Isn't it funny? He wears like a beanie. It's funny. And then Apple's just like a weird apple man, but they're insane. They are insane people. They are insane to look at, and I've never been more happy to see a bunch of demented freaks in my life. Like, they might be the most disturbing ones we've talked about. Now, they're not like insane, but they just look like a bunch of insanity. Just like this apple has arms and legs, a huge mouth, and it's just a stick of cinnamon or like the stem of an apple. Is that what cinnamon looks like? Why is he Jamaican? Is that funny? Does cinnamon come from Jamaica? Or is it just rhyme? It's strange. It's strange. I don't get it, but I love them. I love this cereal. These are the two that you would like. I'm trying to think of like a real world comparison to other like brands or other characters that you compare them to. I'm thinking just like two freaks. It's like if Bob the tomato and Larry the cucumber were on cocaine and like ruined their life to heroin and they said, well, we're Apple and Cinnamon, let's make a cereal. And you're like, okay, sure. Go ahead, guys. You do you, boo. We all want you to succeed. Good luck with your, rehab. What a bunch of freaks. I love them. But you know what I love even more than that is just cereal and the world's like love of cereal. Just like, what if we put something in our milk for breakfast? I love that idea. And I gotta say, mascots are cool, but are they necessary? It doesn't matter. We have some cool ones. Like if I were to, okay, we have a nice solid list here. I'm going to give you my top 5 mascots of cereal right now off the tip of my tongue. Not my favorite cereal, my favorite mascots. Toucan Sam, Buzz Bee, Dig'em the Frog, Apple and Cinnamon, and I'm going to say Frankenberry. Yeah, I'm going to say those are my top 5. Now, in order of hottest, Tony the Tiger is the hottest. I'm going to say Frankenberry is the next hottest, and I'm going to say Fruit Brute is the next hottest. I'm going to say Lucky the Leprechaun, and then Toucan Sam for the hottest. Though the best cereal is Apple and Cinnamon. That's my favorite. Apple Jacks is my favorite. I'm going to say, Fruit Loops, Frosted Flakes. I don't really eat a lot of these other ones regularly. I do like a good Frankenberry. And I guess we will put Cocoa Pebbles, because those are fucking amazing. But I didn't say Fred Flintstone, but I'm just gonna put them on the list. So there's like you could get Cocoa Pebble chocolate bars. I get those a lot now. I'm not even a chocolate guy, but I'm like, it's a Flintstones chocolate bar based off the cereal I like that I have matching underpants to. Yeah, you boys getting that shit. I love it. Great. Great episode. Thank you guys for indulging me on this really stupid list. I've never been happier, never enjoyed myself more than doing this. It was so fun and so cool. And thank you guys for watching this video. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. As always, you can check me out on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. And I will catch you in the next one. Just follow your nose. They're after me, Lucky Charms. They're great. Be happy. Be healthy. This is part of a complete breakfast. Later.